and my name is Peter Tingaru, and I am the kaumatua for Youth Horizons Trust Kia Puawai in Auckland, and I cover the whole of New Zealand. So a number of years ago, our organisation, I think, is quite a visionary organisation where we looked probably about 10 years ago at evidence-based models. So New Zealand never had any evidence-based models in the sector that we work in with young people and families. And so we attended a number of hui gatherings here in the States, and some of our staff came over. And so one of the things that they pointed out was this teaching family model. And so we had another staff member who came over and sort of, I think, attended a conference and met with different agencies who were doing this. And we reached out to Closer to Home, to Karen Olivier, Closer to Home in Canada, to bring the model and to start looking at it in New Zealand and Aotearoa. One of the main things that it had to do was go through cultural due diligence. We have always said that because the majority of the young people that we work with in any agency in New Zealand, the majority of the young people we work with are Māori, then the Pākehā, the non-Māori, and then Pasifika. So we are slowly starting to get a lot more Samoan and Tongan young people and families coming through. To make sure that, because we could bring any Western model over, implement it, and if it doesn't work, it's a waste. Waste of money, waste of time of people coming down and doing that. Because if it doesn't work for our young people, for Māori especially, then it doesn't work. And so bringing Karen through and taking her on to our marae, which are our sacred places, and bringing her to a place like that, putting her almost like before, a group of lions, really, a group of our elders, them asking her, what is this model? Why do you think it will work here? How does your model work? These are all the things that we believe in. Do those things, how does that fit around your model? Do you think it will work here? And so there was a number of questions that they asked. She answered them. I suppose one of the main things is that the model fitted very well with our values that we have within the organisation, which are aroha, manaakitanga, wairuatanga, whanaungatanga. So that's around love and to care for one another. Manaakitanga, again, to care for people, to give people mana, spirituality and relationship building. And those four values are very, very important for us. And so we found that when she spoke about the model, that everything fitted in there. And really interesting, because our old people sat there, and as Karen's talking about this model, which wasn't 40 years old then, I was only about 30-something years old, but and our old people sat there and they said to me in Māori, they said, boy, we already know this stuff. We've been doing this stuff for centuries. How come the Pākehā have only just found out about it and are bringing it here? We already do it. What she's talking about is this, and this. As if it just naturally fitted. And one of the other things that I spoke about at that particular hui, at that gathering when Karen came over, I spoke about our meeting houses. They're important things for us. And in the meeting house, there is a middle pole. And this middle pole is called the Pautoko Manawa. It is the heart of the house. And it is the most important pole in the house because it holds the ridge bone, the ridge of the house, which in turn holds the roof of the house, which in turn holds the walls of the house. So if this pole falls over, the house can collapse. And so I said, so this pole is the most important piece of this house. So when it was Karen's turn to stand up, she went to this pole and she put her arms around this pole and she said, and let me start at the heart of this house. And I sort of sat there and I went, sold. That she had understood exactly what we were talking about. That in our houses, residential houses where our young people are, that the teaching family model would be the pole that would hold this house up. From there, it was reflecting on the sayings of our old people from the 1600s, the things that they left behind, the things that we still use today. And so one of those sayings was a saying by our second Māori king, King Tāwhiao, when he said, that I shall fashion my own house, and that the house will be built of the mahoi and the patate, and its ridgebone will be that of the hino. So the mahoi and the patate and the hino are rubbish trees that grow in our bush. They have no purpose. They are not used for building anything. Yet he chose these trees, the little trees in the big forest, to build his house. So metaphorically, he was talking about his people to be humble. He was saying to them, be humble and build your houses humbly out of these things here. Don't whakarangatira yourself. Don't put yourself up there in front of people. You know, belittle yourself, humble yourself. As I was taking that particular kōrero and aligning that with our houses and with the model, so as that our houses would be humble, that the people in it would be humble, and that the young people that we work with will gain so much from that, from being humble and learning what this model is about and how it's worked with our young people and with families. So that's sort of a little bit about how the model came in through a cultural lens, that it was put before our old people. They agreed to it. So it wasn't just me by myself. I got all of my old people together and they sat, they listened, they spoke, and also certain different Pasifika rangatira from within the Pasifika community, from Tonga, from Samoa, sitting there with our old people and making sure that they understood the model so as that it worked for their young people as well. Of course, it works. Pasifika families, our Polynesian brothers and sisters, we're all one family. Yeah. So of course it all works together. But it's making sure that they were included into that, not leaving them out. So for me, I like to work inclusively like that and making sure that all of the people who come through our homes, non-Māori, Pasifika, Māori, that their people have a say in what happens in the model as well. So it was an amazing time having the model come through. You know, so we've been doing some really great work with young people and families, and I take our young people onto our marae a couple of times a year. We sleep over, do a lot of work on there, and just watch the young people absolutely fall in love with it, because it is something that is missing from them. Yeah. It's not there, and so to be able to experience that is of the highest benefit for them. They absolutely love it, yeah, and take so much from it, of those cultural bits and pieces that they wouldn't normally get at home or at all because of colonisation. And so for them to experience they're worthwhile.